Oh, hey guys. Okay, so as you can see today from the title, we're going to talk about what I expected to see and to experience upon arrival in Ghana. Were those expectations satisfied? Find out on this episode of We Gonna Make It.
We gonna make it. Whatever the mountain in our way, we gonna face it
and move it, yeah.
Ooh, we gonna make it, yeah. Inspiring, informing you, encouraging. Connect with me and together we will see that we gonna make it, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, we gonna make it.
Okay, cool. So let's just get right into it. We're gonna go from each expectation from landing to exiting the airport. And if you stay to the end, I will talk about some things that were not expectations, but were surprises to me to see here upon arrival in Ghana. So let's start. First, number one is the staff, the airport staff. I thought and expected that they would be very, very excited and I guess generally friendly and happy to see me. Not because I'm self-centered, but because I did hear previous to coming to Ghana that, people were quite welcoming, and when they heard that you were from America or diasporan, that they would say welcome and, just give you a good greeting and be just generally friendly. But I'll be honest with you, was that an expectation that was satisfied? No. Wow! When we came, people weren't not just out and out rude, but everything was very, very stoic and very, very military feeling. It was like, come, go, you go there, sit there, and it was just, I did it, and I followed orders because they have their schedules and whatnot. So, I went along with the program to get through it, but I was trying to just wear people down with kindness, and I was doing funny, stupid things, just to kind of break the thickness of the atmosphere. It was very coarse. I don't know how to explain it, but everything was really serious and just not pleasant. I'll just say that. I could totally blame it on the demic, because it was definitely mid-demic when we did our travel. 2020, it was like smack dab in the middle of everything, and maybe people are still pretty uptight about all of the restrictions, regulations. Maybe that could be it. Let's go ahead and say that is why my expectation for friendly, welcoming Ghanaian employees at the Accra airport was not satisfied. Okay, cool. Let's go with number two. What's number two? Okay, I expected coming out of the airport or even in the airport that I would have seen people either on the drums, drumming, or people dancing, or hearing them singing, maybe welcoming people, diasporans, me, to Ghana. And the only reason why that was an expectation of mine is because I had seen it before on YouTube, but probably not really expecting that might have been some sort of a special occasion, and that's not the norm. And I just probably assumed that was the norm, that maybe outside of the airport you'd find people playing drums and singing and just welcoming you. It's funny because I watch other YouTubers and I watch other accounts of people coming to Ghana, and you see the celebrities coming and they get these big welcoming parties and stuff like that. So I guess I just assumed that was what was going to happen. Now, was that expectation satisfied? No, it wasn't. It was okay though. I still was fine within myself. I welcomed myself to Ghana and I was just happy that the Most High saw fit to allow my feet to touch ground off of that plane without any difficulties and without any troubles or mishaps. Okay, let's move on. What is the next expectation that I had upon arrival to Ghana? Let's see. Okay, so I thought that I would see the general population of locals wearing their traditional cultural clothes. I thought that I would see a lot of that. Them wearing their own style of clothes, like whatever that is, tunics or certain types of dresses, their jewelry, the clothes really, not necessarily the jewelry, because I know jewelry is usually used on certain occasions. So, you're not going to probably see people walking around with full beaded stuff. But at least the clothing, I thought that most people would be wearing traditional clothes. Or even if the style wasn't traditional, but let's say they were wearing pants and shirts, I thought they would be African print or tribal prints or whatever like that. When I got to Ghana, first time leaving the country ever, going to another country, first time stepping into that country, seeing a lot of people wearing Western clothing. I will be honest, it blew my mind. Was I a little disappointed? Kinda, yeah. Why? I just left there. I wanted to see something different, and I mean, it wasn't a huge big deal, but I mean, I was excited to see something different in the line of how people dress. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though most of the folks here dress like Western clothing and stuff like that, there are still people you'll see walking around wearing their tunics and I guess like chiefs and on special occasions, funerals, weddings and stuff like that. Even though some weddings people still wear like European clothes, the infiltration is real. But anyway, so that was a surprise to me. Seeing Ghanaians in skinny jeans and just like regular t-shirts and pants and shorts and things like that you'd see in America. Was it a silly expectation? Maybe. Naive, I guess, but it is what it is. Was it an expectation that was satisfied? You now know it was not satisfied. So we're like 0 for 3. Like none of my expectations thus far have been satisfied on arrival. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, piggybacking on the clothing. So I thought that there would be more of a modest type of clothing, like intentionally modest. Generally, I guess I thought that Ghanaians or even generally Africans dress more modest than Americans. When I got outside of the airport, going to the hotel, driving through Accra, soaking it all in, I saw a lot of women wearing things that were very revealing to their body shape. Tight dresses, low-cut dresses, some dresses that were like see-through, lace dresses. And I'm not talking about just like a few women. I'm talking about like just driving down the street and seeing a lot of people. Maybe this is why I'm piggybacking this off of the Western clothing. Is like the clothes that they were wearing were not Ghanaian clothes. They're not African clothes. They were evening or cocktail dresses that you might see somebody wearing in America. And I was really shocked. I'm not saying like it was like evil or like pointing my finger. I'm just telling you that I didn't expect that. I just expected it to be a lot more modest. So that was upon arrival, right? I've been here a little over a year, and I see that all the time and everywhere. And so not everyone, but more than I expected, and on a consistent basis. Yes, I do see that. So that was an expectation that did not satisfy. Now, there are a lot of women that dress modestly that I see, especially in the Muslim community. You know when you're looking at a woman from the Muslim community, because she's very covered up, and they have the flowing long dresses. Even their arms are covered up, and pretty things, pretty dresses, not like these, what do you call them, like these school marm or Amish type of ugly dresses. Sorry, Amish people, I think your dresses are ugly. So anyway, there is modesty, but the level of modesty that I thought it would be at, it was not there. The age group of the females that were wearing things like that, I could probably say it's anywhere from like 13 to mid 30s, maybe even late 30s. I don't know. It was just in that range. I don't see any of the older women. In older, I mean 50s and 60s. I don't see it on a general basis. Okay. Before I continue, if you have come to Ghana and you had certain types of expectations or things that you thought you were going to experience or see, and that expectation was not satisfied, or was your expectation satisfied, and what was it? Tell me about it. Just drop it down in the comments below. So, the next expectation was, I expected to feel and be treated like any other dark-skinned person here in Ghana, or brown-skinned person here in Ghana. I was like, oh, we're leaving America. That means we're not going to have those weird stares like we get when we go into the well-established white neighborhoods. I totally thought, hey, we're breaking free from those strange looks, like there's a black person in the neighborhood. And when you get those stares, if you're in the restaurant and it's all white people, and you come in there and you sit down and you want to eat, and you got people, you just like look up every time you look up and people are staring at you. Those types of looks at the grocery store. I thought that coming here, I'd be free from that. And that was my expectation, that it would just be like, I'm walking down the street and nobody's like, yeah. No. So, why did I think that, you ask? Because my mentality was like, we're dark skinned. We have that common ground, and I thought that the difference between their skin and my skin was the reason why, the Caucasian people were looking at me. And so if that's eradicated now, going to another place where there's people that were all the same skin color or shades of it, that it would be gone. Also, I was told by someone who came to Ghana and had been living in Ghana for at least a year and a half before I came, that when you walk down the street, they treat you like you're just another one of them. I'm quoting, and I don't use them and they, but I'm quoting my friend. They call you friend, madame folks. They can't even tell the difference. Okay, you know who you are. Why would you even say that? I don't understand how. Okay, and people, other YouTubers have said, okay, I just feel so right at home. I feel like this is my home and I'm here to stay, and these types of things. So when you hear people say things like that, you truly expect to experience that. And I will tell you, that expectation will probably take some years or something, or it might not ever be satisfied. Because the simple fact is, and if I wasn't so, I won't say if I wasn't so naive, I feel like it was a naive thought to have, but I'll just say if I wasn't so sheltered in having been in another country all my life, never come out, and then sheltered under censored information and all of that. Ideals expressed and fed by Caucasians and the system of the establishment, all of that. I just feel like because of all that, I had a very naive thought about how I would be related to or received in Ghana. And I'll do a different video on this, but also what you say as an influencer on YouTube about what is happening in other countries is important. I'm telling all you other YouTubers out there because I, before even ever making this channel, watched y'all. And I got my information from y'all. And y'all be putting stuff out there that just ain't true. It's just not. Or if it's true to your situation, you generalize it, and maybe you don't do it maliciously, but you generalize it and make people think that this is how it's going to be when I come, or this is how it is. So be very careful with the type of information you put out there. In this situation, it wasn't a huge deal, but in other situations, it can save people a lot of time and life spent moving upon information that people put out there as truth and reality. So anyway, going back to this whole thing, when I walk down the street, after even being here for a whole year, I don't get treated like I'm the same. I am different. I am well reminded every time I leave the gate of my house. It's not in necessarily a negative communication that, hey, you're different. No, it's just in the way that people relate to you, in the way that people do business with you, in the way that people talk to you even. So we'll go into depth about that, but just pretty much those strange stares that I thought I was going to escape from the white people, they are here. When you're at a restaurant, when I'm at the mall, same. When I'm at a stoplight, oh man, same. So anyway, it's like I'm a black American. I'm not just black anymore, I'm a black American. Even though I don't subscribe to being a black American. I don't even know what that is. I don't even think that exists. So, yeah, that expectation that I wouldn't be treated like I was different is long gone. And I'm okay with it, because it is what it is. And we learn to continue in spite of. Okay? So, I am different. I'm different. Okay, so next one. Number 6 and my final expectation upon arrival. This one is silly, you guys. This one's really silly. I'm embarrassed. I almost don't want to tell you. Should I tell you? Should I? Okay, I will. Just don't laugh. I'm laughing. Okay, so you're gonna laugh. But anyway, the expectation that I had upon arrival was that I did not think that Ghana, in Africa in general, had a weather forecast. I didn't think that I could go on Google and find a weather forecast for Africa, for Ghana. Okay. Hey, I'm telling you, I already feel, don't make me feel even worse. I already feel like that was the dumbest expectation ever. But let me explain anyway. So I expected that because obviously the infrastructure of electricity and internet and sanitation, all of those infrastructures are very different from America. They're very deficient in the way that they perform. And knowing some places don't have electricity at all, some places don't have the ability to get internet, and the sewer system is terrible in some places. And I don't credit that to the locals. I credit that to the folks that have the power to change that. So we'll leave that there. But seeing how behind a lot of this stuff is, I just assumed, okay, yeah, if they got power outages all the time, you can't go a whole month without not having a power outage. And almost every time it rains, the power goes out. I was like, how are they going to even have like a weather system? I think, and that was like, in my mind, terrible presumption of like minimalist living. And I think that expectation was definitely powered by, the idea that Africa is primitive, powered by the idea that Africa is not advanced. Definitely. So I'm gonna take that one on the chin. That was a bad assumption, and I can go on my phone and I can see what is the weather in Ghana. I can find out what the weather will be tomorrow, hour by hour.
Amazing!
Now, which leads me to something. Okay, if you can find out hour by hour what the weather is going to be tomorrow in Ghana, why can't there be a better power grid in Ghana? Why can't there be a better waste system in Ghana? In the 12 years that I lived in a particular state in America, there was only 2 power outages that I can recall. And that's insane. And the garbage system is consistent. It comes on the same day every week. The poop that we poop in the toilet, it is disposed of or probably recycled or whatever they do, whatever with that. But it doesn't stay in my neighborhood for me to smell it. And all I'm saying is, if you can find out something so detailed as what the weather is going to be like in Ghana the next day, that's some pretty good technology right there. Hour by hour. Why did the money go into that? And then listen, I know it's Google, so it's not like the government did it. But what I'm trying to say is, if you can do that, and you can have that type of technology available even to me while I'm in Ghana, I'm thinking that there needs to be some sort of prioritizing of needs and meeting those needs, and a better way of appropriating funds in order to give a better quality of life. Okay, so off of my soapbox, I have rambled. You have received my 6 expectations versus reality upon arrival, and all of them were not reality. None of them. So you have made it to the end of this video. Let's talk about surprises, not expectations, just surprises, things that I realized and was very surprised about. Okay, so number 1 is, I'm very surprised that the population is very young. Like, there's a lot of young people that just kind of hang out, Most people that you see are late 50s on down. Late 50s on down is the majority of the population. I have seen people in their 60s. Maybe they're even in their 70s and they look young, but it is rare that you see an old person out and about, shopping, walking down the street, driving, in a car with somebody driving them. You don't see a lot of old people. My grandma, she came to Ghana with us. She's 89. And when she got here, she made a comment, "Where are all the old people?" And I was like, well, I saw one yesterday, but I've been here a whole year and I still don't see the grannies, the grams, the grandpas. I don't see them out and about. It's odd to me, but I think that it's maybe cultural. I don't know. If you are watching this and you are a Ghanaian subscriber, give me a little bit of insight on this. What's going on? Is it something that is intentional? Is it something that is considered respectful? What the dealio? Tell me. It's interesting. I'm used to all ages being out and about, walking the streets, going to the store, going to the movies, going to restaurants. You see lots of old people at IHOP, driving cars, just in society, at the lake, at the beach with their family. Here, it's a very young society. And I don't know how many older folks there are around there because they're just not visible. Also, too, in America, or at least in the state that we were in, there are companies and the government, I think, as well, that cater to the elderly. You know, you got TriMet Lyft, where older folks can call TriMet to come pick them up at their house and take them grocery shopping. Like, there's a service for that. And my grandma used that service up until the time we left America. She'd go out and go shopping all day by herself. At 88, bus come pick her up and take her. She's fine. So it's just interesting that here I haven't seen a lot of independence and being out and about with the elderly here in Ghana. So the other thing that surprised me was the lack of noise ordinances or rules concerning noise in the neighborhood. And you never think that if you live next to a church that you might feel like you're having church in your bedroom at volume 100 like every week with people you don't know. Seriously, okay, this surprised the heck out of me. We moved to a place, we lived there for like a month, and we saw that there was construction going on just like 2 house distances away from us. The second month of us living in our place, we drove by one day and it said like grand opening, and it ended up being a church. So 2 house lengths away from us, there's a church. And usually in America, no problem, it's a church. Okay, on Sunday they're gonna sing and whatnot. You might hear a few tambourines muffled because it's enclosed and whatnot, but here it's different. Churches are on amplified loudspeakers that are not inside the church. They are like situated either at the window or outside of the church, and you can hear that in the noise of it. When I tell you it comes into my bedroom, it is right there, standing next to me like this leaf right here. It's loud. It's amazingly loud. And that did surprise me. And I use earplugs because the other thing is their services go to 4 in the morning. I've counted hours of service constantly and continually on a regular basis. Services may start at 7 and end at 4 in the morning. Or they may start at midnight and end at 6 in the morning. And there's no particular day that it happens. It could be Wednesday, Saturday, be Monday. So it's just whatever. So that was surprising. I've gotten used to it since because I have created some solutions for it. So adjustments have been made. I thought it was kind of funny because there was somebody on a Ghana Facebook group that I'm a part of, and they were talking about how they just couldn't stand the noises in the church. They lived in Ghana, and somebody in America was like, somebody worshiping in their church, it doesn't bother me. And the woman was like, you have not been to Ghana. You have not lived next to a church in Ghana. It is completely different, people. There's no comparison. Zero. Seriously, sounds like the pastor and the choir are sitting in my bedroom on a microphone in my bedroom. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for today. I enjoyed my time with you. I hope you enjoyed it with me. Listening to my expectations. Some may have been silly, some may have been, reasonable, but that is what it is. What were your expectations? Were they satisfied? Were they completely destroyed? Put it in the comments below. Okay, so guys, before I go, look at this right here. This is a banana flower. It looks prehistoric. They get really big, like the size of my head, or actually bigger, because I don't have a big head. But anyway, they get very big, and then they fall off, and then the bananas will grow. Like these right here. Let me bring you in close. You can see the bananas up there, up here, and then these right here are going to be bananas as well. And then these are just like, this thing gets really big, this thing gets really huge, and it just looks like a prehistoric plant. But anyway, that's it for today. I'm thanking you for joining me. I hope that you join me again, and wherever you are on your journey to destiny, don't forget, we gonna make it. See you next time. If you like the video, click like. Yes, click like, share it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single good time here on We Gonna Make It. A little banana leaf friend over here.
We gonna make it.